Citizens versus we the people. What is meant by citizens and what are the differences between the two? Citizens. Growing up, you were taught in schools about being a good citizen. You might have heard speeches about being a good American citizen or a good citizen of your state. But were any of us really taught what that means? We all have an idea of what it means, but most of us may not realize the legal world uses a different definition from the historical meaning and the difference between being a citizen from being one of we the people. Let's dive in and check out the differences. The historical definition of citizen was the native of a city or an inhabitant who enjoys the freedom and privileges of the city in which he resides, the free man of a city as distinguished from a foreigner, an inhabitant, a dweller in any city, town, or place. In the United States, a person, native or naturalized, who has the privilege of exercising the elective franchise or the qualifications which enable him to vote. This is from the American Dictionary of the English Language from 1828. Inhabitant, freedom, and free man. Notice those were the words bolded in that definition. Let's look at those definitions. Inhabitant, a dweller, one who dwells or resides permanently in a place or who has a fixed residence. Freedom, the state of exemption from the power or control of another. Liberty, free man, one who enjoys liberty or who is not subject to the will of another, one who enjoys or is entitled to a franchise or peculiar privilege as the free man of a city or state. That's from the American Dictionary of the English Language, 1828. Now let's look at the legal definition of a citizen. One who, under the Constitution and laws of the United States or of a particular state, is a member of the political community, owing allegiance and being entitled to the enjoyment of full civil rights. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Citizens are members of a political community who, in their associated capacity, have established or submitted themselves to the dominion of a government for the promotion of their general welfare and the protection of their individual as well as collective rights. That's from Black's Law, 5th edition. Notice you do not see the words freedom or free man anywhere in those definitions. Let's take a closer look at the words that were used. Under, sometimes used in its literal sense of below in position, beneath, but more frequently in its secondary meaning of inferior or subordinate. Laws, rules promulgated by government as a means to an ordered society. Strictly speaking, session laws or statutes and not decisions of court, though in common usage refers to both legislative and court-made law, as well as to administrative rules, regulations, and ordinances. Entitled. In its usual sense, to entitle is to give a right or legal title to qualify for, to furnish with proper grounds for seeking or claiming. A closer look continued. Civil, of or relating to the state or its citizenry, also relating to the community or to the policy and government of its citizens and subjects of a state. Jurisdiction, it is the authority by which courts and judicial officers take cognizance of and decide cases, the legal right by which judges exercise their authority, power and authority of a court to hear and determine a judicial proceeding. Dominion. Generally accepted definition of dominion is perfect control and right of ownership. The word implies both title and possession and appears to require a complete retention of control over disposition. That's from Black's Law, 5th edition. Comparing historical and legal definitions. So under historical citizen definition, that is a dweller or inhabitant in any city, town, or place, the state of exemption from the power or control of another, liberty, one who enjoys liberty or who is not subject to the will of another. The legal definition of citizen says one who is below in position, inferior, and subject to the control, authority, power, and legal right of a state, subject to the administrative rules, regulations, and ordinances of the state. Rights are given by qualifications. Let's look at we the people. We were taught in our schools about being a good citizen, but were we ever taught in schools about being one of we the people? No. The Founding Fathers of America established in our Declaration of Independence and our State Bill of Rights or Declaration of Rights who we the people are and what that means. Let's review what that means. We the people have all political power and authority. Inherent power, having supreme authority over all. Inalienable rights, which are rights that cannot be surrendered or transferred without consent. Indefeasible rights, which are rights that cannot be made void. Unalienable rights, which are rights that may not be transferred. Sovereignty and supremacy over all government with full freedoms and liberty. As one of we the people, you are supreme over government with all inherent rights, not subject to governmental jurisdiction. You must identify when conducting yourself as one of the people. As a citizen, defined by our legal system, you are subject to the control of government under its jurisdiction and are entitled to civil rights. Government will automatically assume you to be acting as a citizen under their control. You can be a part of the body politic, participate as a citizen within your community, and partake of the benefits provided by your government. At any time, you can step into your role as one of we the people with all inherent rights and supreme power to instruct and correct government officials. You always retain your full rights as one of the people. In summary, the historic meaning of citizen has been hidden from us and was replaced by a legal definition used throughout our government and our court systems. As a citizen, you are under the dominion and control of government officials and subject to their administrative rules and regulations. Benefits are eligible by qualifications. As one of we the people, you are supreme over government, have all political power, and always have all inherent rights. You are responsible for instructing and correcting government. Identify yourself as one of the people when dealing with government. You may step out into being one of the people at will. Your rights as one of the people are far superior than your granted civil rights. Thomas Jefferson said, "A wise and frugal government, which shall restrain men from injuring one another, shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement, and shall not take from the mouth of labor the bread it has earned. This is the sum of good government." John Jay said, "Those who own the country ought to govern it." For those that are interested in learning more about your rights, please click the subscribe button and the bell and you will be notified of all future videos. I also have a video on understanding your sovereign power, liberty, and the purpose of government. Please check those out as well. Thank you for listening to this presentation.